Starting the stream. Twitch has accepted it. YouTube has accepted it. Facebook has accepted it. Okay, now you can flip the switch. Red light is on. Okay, put the clapper in front of your face. When you hit the clapper, you're on the air.
I'm on the air with my Sunday afternoon musical theater. I'm in starting now the season of 1921-1922 with the opening of Selwyn's Snapshots of 1921. It played 80 performances, and it opened on July 23rd, 1921, at the Selwyn Theater. Now, it starred Nora Bayes, Lou Fields, Wolf Hopper, Lulu McConnell, and Gilda Gray. It had some music by George Gershwin, among others, and lyrics by E. Ray Gertz and Con Conrad, and a lot of people were involved with this show. I just wanted to say before I played some music that Gerald Bordman, whom I've used often for comments about shows and this period of time, and as a matter of fact, for all the shows that I've done over the years, he says that the season that just ended, the 2021 season, ended a 7-year period of great creativity, and that the 21-22 season, in spite of a couple of good shows here and there, started 3 years. As he says, Broadway took 3 years to find itself, to sweep out the cobwebs and rearrange its house, almost paralleling the Wilson and Harding administration. 7 years of feast gave way to 3 seasons of a relative famine. Okay, so Nora Bayes was starred in the Selwyn's Snapshots of 1921, as I told you, and she had a song which she did not sing in the show. Someone by Gilda Gray sang it in the show, but I don't have her sing it. I have Miss Bayes singing it. So here we go. Yeah. Now, did I say that Nora Bass was going to be singing that? If I did, I was quite mistaken. Actually, as a matter of fact, I thought I had a recording of Nora Bass singing Baby Blues, but it turned out to be what you just saw, which is interesting, and I love following the music to see how it goes. But so be it. But Nora Bass did sing in the show Saturday, and so I'm going to play that for you now, and she is definitely singing this Saturday.
Never fret, be a sport, don't forget, life is short, so they say, and I read, we will be a short time dead, so I speak words of cheer, every week, these of years, I smile, for I know that in a while, payday will be here, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, always worry me Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, broke as I can be, but when payday comes, it's payday, skies are gray, fade away. What a day! I go to church on Sunday, wake up Monday, back to work again daily. But when I reach Friday, money's gone, I'm in cold. I could lie down and die without Saturday. For Sunday's the day I must kneel and pray. Monday at the club I must walk the rug. Tuesday is the day I gotta take the clothes and line 'em, take the socks and don 'em, either gotta don 'em or throw 'em away. Wednesday matinee at a movie place. Thursday from a book I must learn to cook. Friday I must clean the house with rag and soap. Lordy, Lordy, how I hope. Get for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, always worry me Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm broke as I can be, but when payday comes, it's lady, skies are gray, fade away. What a day! I go to church on Sunday, wake up Monday, back to work again daily. But when I reach Friday, money's gone, gone, all gone. I'm in pawn. I could lie down and die. God bless Saturday, great day.
Yeah, well, that that was Miss Nora Bass. Now, did I ever play for you Nora Bass' recording of Over There? She did not sing it in the snapshots, but it was such a. She had a great big success with Over There, and if I've never played it for you before, I'd like to do it now. If I have played it for you before, hear it again. Okay, here's Nora Bass' Over There. Well, I'm talking about Nora Bass. Let's do it. Sorry, I made a mistake. Okay.
Johnny, get your gun, get your gun, get your gun. Take it on the run, on the run, on the run. Hear them calling you and me, everyone for liberty. Hurry right away, no delay, start today. Make your daddy glad to have had such a lad. Tell your sweetheart not to pine, to be proud her boys in line. Over there, send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there. Johnny, get your gun, get your gun, get your gun. Johnny, show the Hun you're a son of the gun. Hoist the flag and let her fly. Yankee doodle do or die. Pack your little kit, show your grit, do your bit. Yankees fill the ranks from the towns and the tanks. Make your mother proud of you and the old red, white, and blue. Over there, over there. Send the word over there. That the Sammies are coming, the Sammies are coming. The drums coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer. Send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there, over there, over there. Send the word over there. That the Sammies are coming, the Sammies are coming. The drums coming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer. Send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there.
Yeah. Well, oh boy. Wars, still wars, still wars. Ukraine, God help us all. Anyway, she did that wonderfully well, and I really am happy, not happy, but pleased, whatever, to have shown you that particular sequence from YouTube of all those photographs back from the First World War. We're still in it, aren't we? Well, you know, I read someplace recently, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, whatever. I may have told you this before, that in all of the over 200 years of the United States of America, we have only had 20 years. 20 years free of war. Oh well, I'll be gone pretty soon. After the snapshots came a show called The Broadway Whirl, and it played for 85 performances, and it opened on June 8th, 1921 at the Times Square Theater. It starred, among others, Blanche Ring and Charles Winninger, and it had some music in it by George Gershwin, and lyrics by Joseph McCarthy and Richard Carl and Buddy DeSilva. Well, anyway, there was a song in it called Limehouse Nights by Gershwin. So I'm going to play that for you now. It's just well, you'll see. No singing. Here it is. What happened? I don't know what's going on today. I'm having all sorts of problems. Okay, but I do have another performance of Limehouse Nights, and you'll see why this is a little different. Going right ahead with that Limehouse Nights. There are words underneath. A little slower, isn't it? Yeah, well, I played that primarily because so that you could hear that song fast and slow. I mean, I think that's interesting. And I also like to watch the music. And, of course, the second version had the words printed underneath. If you caught that, I should have mentioned it beforehand. So, I mean, just moving right along here, after the Broadway whirl, there was the Whirl of New York. Can you believe that? 2 shows right away with Whirl and that. Okay. That played, this one, A Whirl of New York, played for 124 performances. And it starred Florence Bayfield, Harold Murray, Dorothy Ward, Frank Purcell. Well, I don't know many of these people at all. So anyway, and I love it, Mademoiselle Adelaide, Johnny Hughes. Okay, she also starred. Well, it had a song in it, "The Belle of New York." Book and lyrics to this show by Hugh Morton and Edgar Smith, based on a musical comedy, The Belle of New York, music by Gustav Kirka. So I have the song for you now, I Know That I'm in Love. And let's go on to that. Yeah, well, so be it. The Belle of New York. That was more like a medley of all songs from the show. Well, anyway, I did that, and so it's fascinating to me. I have two Bibles. One, Gerald Bordman, American Musical Theater Chronicle, and yeah, excuse me, Chronology of American Musical Theater by Richard Norton. Now, Bordman starts off his 21-22 season with the Ziegfeld's Follies, whereas Bordman started off with Selwyn's Snapshots of 1921. Oh, well, so what? However they do that, I don't know. They love their dates, and so they was it. But Bordman does have some interesting comments. He says, a baffling, an abrupt creative slump began at the opening of the 21-22 season and was over just as suddenly with the onset of the 24-25 theatrical year. Reasons for previous spurts of creativity and previous declines, financial panics, booms, wars, migrations, were more or less apparent. Some independently, adequately explained these 3 years of treading water. World War I had receded far enough into the past not to matter any longer, although audiences had tired of war stories. And the post-war recession was not expectedly especially severe. Theatergoers remained ethically and actually the same pleasure seekers who had been living up at the box office for the last decade, lining up at the box office the last decade. Those who had abandoned live theater for movies had done so some years back, and sound would not come in movies to lure away more patrons until the 20s were almost over. Radio, while growing rapidly, could not present similar competition, and was, in any case, more likely to take away audiences from films than from the living theater. So that's about all I want to say there. As an upheaval in musical fashions might be part of the explanation. Commercial ragtime was dying. Commercial jazz had not yet found itself. And as we shall see, had most critics yet found jazz. But the musical theater was never completely dependent on any one lyric language. So, the transition could hardly have been convulsive. True, Reginald de Koven, representing more traditional composition, had died a year before, but he had long ceased to be an active or important figure. Ivan Carroll and Gustav Kirke, both written out, were to die in 1921 and 1923 respectively, while Victor Herbert, his creativity not quite exhausted as Orange Blossoms was to show, would die in May 1924. Regrettably, the two younger composers, Victor Jacobi and Louis Hirsch, were also dead by the time these 3 years had passed. Jacobi almost at the start and Hirsch 2 weeks before Herbert. But Jerome Kern, Irving Berlin, Rudolf Frimmel, and Sigmund Romberg, all in their mid-30s and early 40s, could be expected to continue providing the fine material Broadway was growing accustomed to. Best of all, exciting newcomers were appearing from every corner. So, that's that. And I want to close today, now that you've seen the top of my head for a little while, I want to close today with some songs from the Ziegfeld Follies of 1921. A musical review in 2 acts and 19 scenes. Book sketches by Bugs Bear and George White. Music by George Gershwin. Lyrics by Arthur Jackson. Earlier production staged by George White. Entire production staged by George White. Dialogue rehearsed and so forth. It was produced by George White. Oh, I'm reading George White's Scandals. What is that wrong with me? I should have been reading the Ziegfeld Follies. What a strange, stupid old man I am. The Ziegfeld Follies, 119 performances, had sketches and lyrics by Channing Pollock. Excuse me for all that insane reading of the George White Scandals. I thought I was doing the Ziegfeld Follies. Oh, well. And lyrics by Channing Pollock, Eugene Buck, Willard Meek, a lot of people involved. Music by Victor Herbert, Rudolph Frimmel, Dave Sampler, James Morrison, and James Healy. Well, anyway, Victor Herbert did write some music for it, and I do have one song, The Princess of My Dreams, which I forget who actually sings this. I didn't write it down, stupid me. Princess of My Dreams. Victor Herbert.
Fair princess, your indulgence I would ask. To make you ever happy is my task. To seek and find that something you adore. A sight you've never seen before. I've searched and found to win your precious hand. A miracle upon the desert sand, more beautiful than you would ever dream. A wondrous sight, a miracle supreme. On the desert sands alone there stands a slender golden tree. Now I have been told this tree of gold will come to life for thee. But it must be night when the moon is bright, for the moonbeams silver glow. Twice change and wake, and strangely make the tree dance to and fro.
Yeah, not one of Victor Herbert's greatest songs, but there it is, and I had it. So, just about the best part of this Ziegfeld Follies of 1921 was Fannie Brice. And she sang My Man and Secondhand Rose. And I have both of them for you, and I want to start now with Fannie Brice singing My Man.
17 years ago, a brilliant audience of first-nighters trooped into the Globe Theater on Broadway for the opening of another Ziegfeld Follies, an annual affair which had already become a significant event to New York and the theater. That night, the crowd cheered the glorified glamour girls, laughed with such comedians as W.C. Fields and Raymond Hitchcock. But the highlights of the show, the moment that electrified the audience, were the songs. The scene was the Montmartre section of Paris. The singer, a shabbily dressed girl leaning against a lamppost. Ever since that night, the song and the singer have been linked in the popular imagination. And so we are happy to yield to popular demand this evening and present this great artist singing a song she made famous. Ladies and gentlemen, Fannie Brice sings My Man.
Cost me a lot, but there's one thing that I've got. It's my man. Cold and wet, tired you bet, but all that I soon forget with my man. He's not much for look and no hero out of book. He's my man. 2 or 3 girls has he that he likes as well as me, but I love him. Don't know why I should. He isn't good. He isn't true. He beats me too. What can I do? Oh my God, I love him so. He'll never know. All my life is just despair, but I don't care when he takes me in his arms. The world is bright, all right. And what's the difference if I say I'll go away when I know I'll come back on my knees someday? For whatever my man is, I am his forever. Oh my God, I love him so, he'll never know. All my life is just despair. I don't care when he takes me in his arms. The world is bright, all right. And what's the difference if I say I'll go away when I know I'll come back on my knees someday? For whatever my man is, I am his forever.
Fannie, that was grand. I've always wanted to hear you do that number, and now you've done it. Believe me, it was really something.
Yeah, well, that was obviously not a recording from 1921. That was much later, and I don't know on what program that appeared. She still could do it. I think that I have a recording of her singing the song earlier, and if I can find it, I'll play it next week. Now, you also notice in that series of photos that I put up there, not only Miss Brice looking glamorous and sad and singing My Man, Mon Homme, incidentally, a French song, and I will try to say the names properly. Channing Pollock did write the English lyrics, but the French lyrics are by a guy by the name of Albert Villemet and Jacques Charles, and the music by a guy by the name of Maurice Yvain. Well, anyway, my French stinks, but Julie, you know about it. But you saw not only her glamorous pictures there, and I just could not find the famous photograph of her standing by the streetlight. I'm going to try to find that for next week, because I will probably continue with some more music next week from the Ziegfeld Follies. But you saw the picture of much later on into the 30s when she started Baby Snooks. And she couldn't look anything more, well, I would say different from what she looked like when she was singing My Man, Mon Homme. Now, more to the way we know of Fannie Brice, she also sang Secondhand Rose. And then I'm going to play that for you now. And Secondhand Rose song is by James Hanley and Grant Clark. Here we go.
Second-hand rings, I'm sick of second-hand Everyone knows that I'm just second-hand gold. But fact is, I've had you
Yeah, well, that was Secondhand Rose. And that was another facet of Fannie Brice. Well, I'm going to close now tonight. A little early. For various reasons, I have to sort of end it now. But the truth of the matter is I enjoyed today, even though I made some mistakes, and I hope you enjoyed it too. And I say to you, good night. See you next week. Bye-bye.